Good afternoon, grade 6, and welcome. Hope everyone is well and not too nervous about the upcoming examinations. Now, this afternoon, we will be discussing marriage, where we will find out that marriage is a loving and sacred relationship. We appreciate that marriage is a loving and sacred relationship. Learn that married people have a special way of expressing their love. Understand that married couples cooperate with God to create new life. Okay? So now I want you to think about a wedding you may have attended or seen on the television or heard someone talk about. But I would prefer if you actually attended a wedding. I want you to think about what stands out for you. What is your best memory of the wedding day? Okay, what is your best memory of the wedding day? So let us read the text now. A happy marriage. The bells in the castle tower rang out joyously. The year was 1221. It was the wedding day of Louis and Elizabeth. Louis was the handsome young king of Thuringia, a region that is now part of Germany. Elizabeth was a lovely dark-haired young princess from Hungary. During a mass in the castle church, Louis and Elizabeth exchanged their marriage vows. They promised to love each other. They promised to be faithful to each other for as long as they lived. Louis and Elizabeth had known each other for many years. They were very much in love. They knew that marriage was the best way to express their love. After the wedding ceremony, the whole kingdom celebrated for 3 days with banquets, dancing, and tournaments. Before the wedding, Louis's own sister and mother, and powerful leaders in the court, had tried to be rid of Elizabeth. They criticized her kindness and her humility, her modesty and her goodness. They said that instead of spending so much time praying, she should act more like a princess. Louis did not agree. He once told a friend, "Look at that mountain. If it were solid gold, I would not exchange it for my Elizabeth. No matter what anyone says, I love her. Her virtue and her holiness are dearer to me than all the kingdoms and riches of the earth." Okay, so you heard how Louis and Elizabeth celebrated their wedding. They did so for 3 days with banquets, dancing, and tournaments. Do you think weddings are celebrated in the same way today? The entire kingdom celebrating? No, I don't think so. All right? So we celebrate differently. And different cultures and different people from various religions would celebrate in their own way also. So remember that. Okay, so we will continue by reading the love story. Louis and Elizabeth were chaste. They waited for each other. They saved their special love only for each other. In time, Elizabeth and Louis had 3 children. They saw their children as signs of their own love and of God's love as well. They shared their religious faith with their children. Louis and Elizabeth had their share of problems. They were, after all, real people, not a storybook king and queen. After their marriage, Louis's family complained that Elizabeth was giving too much money to the poor, but Louis was generous with his riches. He supported Elizabeth in her charity. In 1225, there was a famine. Louis and Elizabeth fed hundreds of people daily at the castle gate. They built hospitals where Elizabeth tended the sick. They also built a home for lepers. Louis died while on a crusade to the Holy Land. Elizabeth spent the rest of her life in prayer and doing good works. She is known as Saint Elizabeth of Hungary. Her beloved husband is Blessed Louis of Thuringia. Okay? So, what are some of the qualities of true love that Louis and Elizabeth showed? They showed the qualities of loyalty for each other, chastity, they shared their faith and their problems. Now, could you name any of the virtues the couple brought to their marriage? Virtues, remember I taught you, are good habits. They brought generosity, charity, and courage, just to name a few. Okay? So, Louis and Elizabeth were very much in love. They waited until they were married to express their love for each other, and part of that love is shown with them getting their children. They had 3 children, and they also taught their children about their faith. So let us summarize the lesson. The couple promised to love each other and to be faithful to each other as long as they lived. So that is a vow or a promise that we make to each other, a husband and wife, or the bride and groom makes to the bride and groom make to each other. Okay? They promise to love each other and to be faithful for as long as they lived, or in other words, until death do they part. They lived their vows and promises by caring for their children. They supported each other in works of charity and justice. So remember, Louis supported Elizabeth in what she wanted to do, and they were able to feed the people and build hospitals and so on. And they lived happily. And Louis died, and Elizabeth did not remarry. She continued doing the work that she had begun when Louis was alive. And as the story ended with Elizabeth being declared a saint in the Catholic Church is an ordinary person who does extraordinary things. So she is known as Saint Elizabeth of Hungary. So if you can ever get any material on that, you can read up about her life story, Saint Elizabeth of Hungary. Okay, so we will end here today, and I will see you next week. By that time you would have written your exams, I think. So I take this opportunity to wish you all the best and to do work to the best of your abilities. Okay, so goodbye now.